it's Johar, welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to do a video I've never done before, and that is, I will be talking about books that I'm excited about that's coming out this year. There's not that much, it's going to be a pretty short video. The reason why I've never done a video like this before is because, most of the time when I do read a series, I don't get to it until I either don't get to it until it's full, until it's complete, or I don't know about it until it's fully complete. So that's why that's why I don't usually do videos like this, because and I'm also really bad at keeping up with books that are coming out new and stuff, especially since I have so many older books that I do really want to read that are high up on my TBR list. So newer books, if I look up newer books and add them to my TBR, then my TBR is going to be bigger than it already is. I found out how my want to read pile on Goodreads is like 371, I think it was, because I was just talking to a few friends and we were looking at Goodreads and our like ratings and how much is on our want to read list and stuff. So yeah, that's more than I thought there was. I thought there was like no more than 200. I know people have more than that. Someone said they had like over 2,000. That I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't fathom that. But she also does read a lot faster, and I think she reads shorter books, so I guess it's easier for her too. I don't know, but so yeah, that's always fun. So I'm just gonna, but there are a couple series I'm in the middle of now that I've been waiting for the next book of the series. So I kept forgetting to do this video, and I want to do this video now because the one of my most anticipated reads is coming out real soon. So I want to do it before it actually officially comes out, or technically I won't be able to put this in my video, but at the same time it's my video, so I could put it on if I wanted to. So enough of me rambling, shall we? um. So yeah, let's get started. The first book is my most anticipated book, my most anticipated new book, I guess, from this list. And that'll be the second book. Okay, I just rearranged my shelves, and now I have no idea where anything is. It's over here now. I rearranged my shelves. I just did the video for it, so you guys can look at that. But basically, where I separated my shelves with that has to do with like different types of fantasy, since fantasy is mostly what I read. I have my Aaron Hunter shelf, which also has two other books at the bottom of it because there's space down there, that are not fantasy. Because like I said, I very rarely read fantasy, so this is basically my non-fantasy shelf with a little bit of, with mostly Aaron Hunter, basically just two books that aren't Aaron Hunter. Then I have I think that one's urban fantasy, low fantasy, and high fantasy. So I'm trying to remember that because okay, so my most anticipated read will be the second book to this series. Uh, this first book, and it was so good. I fell in love with it, as you know, because I've talked about it a lot after I read it. And the second book comes out on Kindle tomorrow, and I don't know when it comes out on paperback. Hopefully soon. But even if it does come out tomorrow as well, I can't buy it right now. I'm low on money, and I have a job interview in the beginning of next week, um, and my chances of getting it are pretty high, so that's good. And first 3 to 4 weeks I have to do, or 2 to 3 weeks I think. I need to catch up on bills a little bit, so it'll probably be a good month-ish before I can buy it. But definitely when I have money that I can spend on books, this is definitely gonna be the first book I buy because I need the sequel to it, like yesterday. So I'm gonna have to move some of my books around because there's like no room for me to put the second book next to it. So yeah, I'm excited for the second book and the rest of the series because it's supposed to be kind of a longer series. Like I know the authors of it posted on Twitter something about there being 8 books, but the second book is just now coming out, and I can't wait for the rest of the books. And it's cruel to make us wait this long. Okay, what's next on this? Because I forgot. Oh yeah, so Warriors is next. There are so many books. There's like 13 super dishes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books that have like 3 novelists each. One of them just came out in March. So yeah, so that's still a new book. And then there's 36 actual books of the first 6 arcs, because there's like 6 books in each arc, and each arc is like a new generation of cats. It's like the first arc was about Firestar and Sandstorm, and then the second arc is about their kittens, Leafpool and Great. I almost said Great Stripe. What? No, that's Firestar's best friend for the first arc. Leafpool and Sandstorm. Man, I cannot get these names right today. Squirrelfly, that's her name. And then third arc, which I've not read yet, but they're supposed to be about Squirrelfly and Brambleclaw's kittens and on like that. So yeah, and I have only read the first 2 arcs so far, but I have all 13 super editions because the last super edition recently came out too a few months ago, either at the beginning of this year or end of last year. And then the last novella just came out, but there probably will be more. I won't be surprised. And then there's so many of them, it's hard to keep track. But so there are 6 arcs and then they're almost done making the 7th arc, and I haven't bought the 7th arc yet because I bought every other Warrior book but the 7th arc because I'm waiting for it to be complete until I buy them. And I know the 5th book in the 7th arc, 7th arc came out in March, so that's still relatively new. And the 6th and final book of the 7th arc is gonna come out November. I forgot what date, but sometime in November. So in November, I'm probably gonna buy all 6 of those books, and I may or may not be caught up at that point because I have a lot of other books to read, and that's probably gonna be the last or one of the last series I finally get to, because it's also one of the longest I have. Because I also have Charmed, which is like 41, 42 books, but those are also a lot smaller, so they'll be easier to get through. But yeah, so it's gonna be one of the last series I finally get to because there's just so many of them. I want to get to some of my shorter series first. But yeah, so I'm really excited to finally catch up on Warriors, and I hope that I still like them once I get that far ahead. Because when I finally do get to Warriors, I'm gonna reread what I've already read and then read everything else because it's been a while since I've read those, so I don't remember a lot. So yeah, okay. Next is a book called What Once Was Mine. It is part of the Twisted Tales series. I will bring one of those up now. The only one I've read of them so far. This one is called, this one is Beauty and the Beast, as old as time. It's the only one I've read so far, but I finally bought all the ones I wanted to read, except for one, because when I bought them, I hadn't actually watched the Disney Hercules movie yet, and now I have, and I like this, so now I want to buy the book of it, because they have a book of the Hercules too for the Twisted Tales series, so I need to buy that. But there is one that is coming out, and is coming out. I forgot what to say. I just looked it up too. Well, I looked up what it was called. I didn't look up when it was going to be published. Never mind. I have no idea when it's going to be published, but it's supposed to be published this year. That's all I know. And it's Twisted Tales about Rapunzel. It's called What Once Was Mine. Let me look it up. Because all these Twisted Tales have like something like Beauty and the Beast one is what if the enchantress that had cursed the beast was Belle's mother. The Mulan one is what if Mulan had to go to the underworld. What else is there? There's Hercules. What if Megara had become a Greek god? I think is that one. There's Unbirthday, which is the Alice in Wonderland one, which is what if Alice was too late to save Wonderland. There's Conceal Don't Feel. That's what if Anna and Elsa never met. I'm guessing they were like separated after Anna was born. Like their parents separated and they went with. That's my theory at least, because they are sisters. Like how else would they not met, right? A Whole New World for Aladdin. I forgot what it was. I forgot what that one was. I also have Once Upon a Dream, which is about Sleeping Beauty, and Part of Your World, which is about Ariel. So yeah, there's a lot of them. This one is what if Rapunzel's mother drank a potion from the wrong flower? That would be interesting. What kind of power would she have? like, or maybe no power at all, or I don't know. But then, if she didn't have the right power, then why would Gothel even kidnap her? Because the picture does show a Rapunzel in a tower, so she still was kidnapped with a baby, I'm guessing. I have no idea. Hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of them, and I don't want to own all of them. Because I have no desire to own, which one was it? The Snow White one, or the Cinderella one, or the Peter Pan one, because I'm not a fan of those fairy tales. I only bought the ones that I love, or the ones that I do. There's a couple that I don't love, but I do like enough that it intrigued me. Like for Sleeping Beauty, I don't love the original one. I do love the Maleficent movies, but the only reason why I bought the book is because I'm a fan of Maleficent. She's my favorite Disney villain. And then the Part of Your World, I'm not the hugest Little Mermaid fan, but I do kind of like it sometimes. So I thought, hey, why not? Whenever I'm bored and finally get to it, then that gives me something to read. Because once I finish all these other books, I'm gonna want something to read. But of course, by the time I finish all of them, I probably will buy more. So who knows? I'll get to it when I get to it. But yeah, so that's one, the Rapunzel book that is coming out. Um, what was that? I forgot what that one book was called because there's like another book I was gonna mention. It's like coming out this month or just came out this month, but otherwise it's fairly new. And I think I only added to my list because someone on Twitter had tweeted a thread about books that have asexual main characters, fantasy books that have asexual main characters, because that's very rare for any book to have asexual characters, which is really sad, but it's really true. And so I added all the fantasy books that have asexual characters to my Goodreads list. I don't usually do that without like fully being sure I'm gonna love it, but I was just so desperate for asexual representation. I'm gonna truly look at them a little bit more and see if I actually think I'm gonna love them. Let's see. So this is called Beneath the Citadel. Citadel. No, that's not the right one. Which one was it? Because I know there was one that. Oh, it was this one. Never mind. What We Devour. This is the one I was looking at. So, yeah. And it says, what is it about? It says, Lorena Adler has a secret. She holds the power of the banished gods, the noble and the vile, inside her. She has spent her entire life hiding from the world and her past. She's content to spend her days as an undertaker in a small town, marry her best friend Julian, and live an unfulfilling life so long as no one discovers her true nature. But when the notoriously bloodthirsty and equally vile crown prince comes to arrest Julian's father, he immediately recognizes Lorena for what she is. So she makes a deal, a fair trial for her betrothed father in exchange for her service to the crown. The prince is desperate for her help. He spends years trying to repair the weakening door that holds back the vial, and he's losing the battle. As Lorena learns more about the door and the horrifying price it takes to keep it closed, she'll have to embrace both parts of herself to survive. A triumphant dark fantasy, What We Devour serves up an incredibly smart magic system with a side of Eat the Rich energy. Rossi Thor, author of. Okay, so yeah. But. So there's that book. Is that all the books I have? Like I said, I don't have that many because there's the Shadow Realm Chronicles. Their book was just published in June, so I have no idea if the fourth. So I doubt the fourth book's gonna be published this year, but maybe because I'm pretty sure the second book was also published this year, which would mean they both published the same year. But who knows? But I haven't actually read the third book yet. Um, I think that's everything. Because I don't have that many, like I said, because by the time I even find out about a series, it's already finished, so I don't have to worry about waiting for the next installment of it to come out to finally read it. Which is good because I would hate waiting. Like I've hated waiting for the second book of the Daughter's Ransom, which is called crap. What's it called? The Ghostmaker. which was the first one I mentioned, the one I'm most anticipated for. So, because the way it ended, I need to find out what happens. It was just so good, and I can't wait anymore. Um, I know Julian Phantoms, there's supposed to be more books coming out, but I haven't read that yet. Because there's like one book for each season, and we don't even know we're getting a second season yet because they still haven't confirmed it or denied it. And there's supposed to be a second book. I have no idea when it's coming out though. Maybe this year, maybe next year. What other books do I have? Yeah, all the other books I have are complete series. I know there's one book I have that I recently bought from an indie author. I only bought the first book. She has the second one too, which I plan on getting eventually. And I don't know if that's gonna be the last book or if there is a third book coming. Like I said, I don't keep track of new books coming out unless I was very invested with the series and I started it before it was complete, like A Daughter's Ransom, for example. So yeah. Um, so that's it for this video. Please like and subscribe and comment your most anticipated reads for the rest of the year. And if they're fantasy and sound interesting, intriguing enough, then if it's about a witch, then I most likely will want to give it a try because I love everything witches. And if you have a fantasy book about skeletons, please let me know because there are hardly any books about skeletons and it makes me sad because I love skeletons. I know it was weird, but I've fallen in love with skeletons and they are now one of my top favorite mythical creatures. And I have one book. I have so many books planned, but I have one book planned that's um gonna be about skeletons, and I'm really excited for it. But it probably won't be for a while because the next series, which I'm even more excited about that I'm gonna write, is um gonna be pretty long because I have so many ideas for it. And I already know it's probably gonna be a good 10 books. I might be over exaggerating just a bit, but it's gonna be several books. I know that for sure. But oh, one last book that I'm gonna mention, which is my book, Jasmine Press and the Enchantress, because it will come out this year. I do not have a specific date yet, but I will make sure it comes out by the end of the year. So yeah, I'll definitely have a whole video dedicated on this book when it comes out. So yay, and yeah, so that's it. You can follow me on Twitter, Bookstagram, what else? Goodreads at Secret Books, and I have a Facebook group called Author Johar Harper, that has all my books, and you can also follow me on Wattpad if you have a Wattpad as Author Johar Harper. So yay, and I'll talk to you guys later.